Hey guys, welcome back to Blind Strike Exotics. I'm John. This is Princess, and today we're going to start a new series. It's like a ball python spotlight for each of the different snakes in my collection. And I wanted to start off with Princess because she is the biggest ball python that I have, and she seems to be sort of a fan favorite with the people on the channel and with the kids when they come over, nephews, the neighborhood kids when they come over and see the snakes here. Princess is a pastel mystic potion. So a fun fact about her is a mystic potion is a blue-eyed Lucy. It's a mystic and a Mojave gene. Typically, I think when most people think of blue-eyed Lucies, they think of the all-white snakes with the blue eyes. But there are quite a number of combos in the blue-eyed Lucy gene set that when you combine them, they don't make all-white snakes. And this is one of those combinations. Typically, if you have lesser, the blue-eyed Lucy gene, with anything else, they usually come out all white. But when you mix Mojave or Mystic or Phantom in with other genes, you will get other colored snakes. So they're not always all white. But she is still considered a blue-eyed Lucy. So if I were to pair her to another blue-eyed Lucy snake, they will make all blue-eyed Lucy babies. Now she is, I think the last time I weighed her, roughly about 4,000 grams. So she's up over 8 pounds, and she is pretty close to as big as they come for a ball python. She's pretty large, pretty thick snake. Ball pythons don't get as long as some other snakes. I know my rainbow boa, she's a full-grown adult at this point. She's about 3 years old, and she's longer than Princess here. She's almost, I think, 6 feet tall. The last time I got a shed out of her, the rainbow boa shed was probably up here, so it's probably well over 6 feet. Whereas Princess here, if I stretch her out, I don't know, maybe she's 4.5, 5 feet long. So ball pythons don't get as long as some other snake species, but as you can see, they're kind of heavier bodied snakes. And I can almost fit my fingers around her, but not quite all the way. So she's a very good kind of ambassador snake for me. She's very calm, she's very easy to handle, and she's still a very big snake at the same time. Now, Princess only likes to eat live rats. She won't eat them if they're stunned. She won't eat them if they're pre-killed. She likes them to be live. And if you can see here, she has a couple bite marks from the last time she ate from the rat. Now, when you're feeding live rats, you have to watch them, especially when you're feeding bigger rats, large rats, medium rats, because they have very big, sharp teeth, and they can inflict pretty big wounds on you and on your snake. So typically, when you are feeding, you try to stun them first or try to do pre-killed rats. If you can't do that and your snake will only take live, typically what you want to do is put the rat in there, watch them. When the snake, coils up the rat, you want to try to get your forceps in there and try to kind of hold the rat's mouth off of the snake as much as you can so the teeth don't sink in your snake. Unfortunately, the rat got her in a couple places here the last time they ate, but typically it's not really a big deal. Just try to keep her clean. Try to keep the enclosure clean so it doesn't get infected, and they're fine. It'll heal out in the shed or two. But she is a big baby doll. She is the biggest. She's the heaviest snake I have here. She's not the longest, but she's also the biggest, the longest, the heaviest ball python I have. And so she's a good animal to show to people that snakes aren't crazy evil little things. They can be very tame, very calm. I could hand her to the smallest kid in the world and I would never be worried about her trying to bite anybody. She's as calm as can be. She's a big baby doll. She doesn't care if you touch her head. She doesn't love it, but she's not going to get defensive or try to bite at me. There's a little bit of stuck shed on her. I guess that's a good thing to bring up. A little bit of stuck shed never hurt anybody. This room, all by itself, if you can see there, sits at about 56 to 60% humidity, which is right within the ball python's range. Sometimes they still have, and their tubs are actually a little more humid than what the air temperature is in here because of the confined space. Sometimes you still get some stuck shed, and especially if it's just a little bit on the back like this. She has a little bit up towards the top of her neck. Nothing else on her body. It's not a big deal. It should come off of the next shed they have. So that's basically it for her. She's a Pastel Mystic Potion. She's a Blue-Eyed Lucy. She's a big girl. She has not bred for me yet. She's about 3 years old. I'm hoping. I was pairing her up with Tesla this year. I didn't see any confirmed locks or anything. Nothing happened. So we kind of went through a whole breeding season pairing them up, and I didn't get any luck out of them. So I'm hoping that, another year in the books with both of them. Tesla did prove out this year with one of the other females I had. And the Crystal, the other Blue-Eyed Lucy that I have that's about the same size as Princess, looks like she's actually maybe becoming gravid right now from Tesla. So hopefully that means at some point Princess will become gravid too. If you're handling snakes, especially when they start getting bigger like this, I guess a little cautionary side note, especially with younger kids, you don't want these snakes to kind of wrap around the kids' necks like this. This snake is very strong. I have had adult males that are around 1,000 grams wrap around my neck, and if I wasn't strong enough to pull them off, they could have choked me out. This girl is 4 times that size. If she were to wrap around a kid's neck, she would definitely choke them out because they would not be able to get her off. She's extremely strong. So typically, you never want to leave them unattended with little kids that can't, hold them by themselves. But when I am holding them, the kids, I actually usually just have them flip her over the shoulder like this. So I don't put them on their neck. I just put her over the shoulder. So that way, she really doesn't have a chance of wrapping around their neck. Now, she could definitely, kind of do this maneuver. But it's easier to move her around when her whole body isn't up on your shoulder. So if you have little kids and you have some bigger snakes, fling them over the shoulder instead of wrapping them around the neck. Do it like this, and then you have a little less cause for concern with the snakes. So this will be the first snake we're doing here on this series. I'll try my best to go through all of them probably before we start breeding again in the next month or two. Before I start getting so busy that I'm getting eggs again and getting things hatching. So that's it for today. Thank you guys for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.